Good morning, evening and afternoon, and welcome to part 8 of Aokana, Ao no Kanata no fō rizumu. Last time we started off with Masaya. Well, he hasn't told him yet, but he had accepted the role of coach to the Flying Circus Club. And he went to the group as we're starting their practice to let them all know his decision. Unfortunately, it was, I can't really say dragged on, but Misaki, Mashiro, were kind of teasing him a bit. Yeah, there's something about that. I don't know how to I'm gonna really say. But anyway, so they seem to be quite happy about it. Well, mainly Shion is happy about him joining. So it's going to be interesting to see the dynamics between the group as we go forward from here. We also learnt a bit about the different types and situations in regards to Flying Circus. We learned that they need to get new shoes, which they're probably going to get the funds from Aoi. So we can expect a shopping trip soon. And then we learnt the facts about the different play styles in terms of Flying Circus. The speedster? Speed? I can't remember if I got the terms right. Hold on 1 second. Probably gone past it already. So I get the proper terms, make sure I'm not doing it wrong. Speeder. I think it's speeder. Anyway, so we've got the speeder and we've got the fighter. And then in the middle of those two is the all-rounder. We know Shion is speeder and Misaki can play any role but prefers the fighter. And then Asuka's going to start learning the all-round and then branch from there and onwards. Not too sure about Mashiro. Not sure how she's going to play a role in this club. And then we got Madoka as the manager and then Masaya as coach. Interesting. And second. This was the second. It's interesting how they came up with a new sport in this visual novel. Different terms, styles, positions. It's interesting. So we're going to get into an not an explanation, but more of a demonstration of the rules to show Asuka how it goes about. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. From what I know about Misaki, she has accepted that she has to lose the first round, but I wonder if Shion might taunt her or might say something that might get Misaki riled, which might make her not lose on purpose. Just to see. But yeah, so let's see what's gonna happen. There's a steep cliff a couple of meters beyond it, and then the ocean. Flying Circus takes place in the sky, which means you can do it anywhere. Shito City is surrounded by the ocean, so that became the natural playing ground in our area. Plus, it's also technically safer when there's water beneath you instead of solid ground, though modern grav shoes have tons of sail safes that make getting injured from a fall impossible.
Hi, 質問です。ファーストって何ですか?
The first buoy. There's a lot of ways of saying buoy, a buoy. I'm just gonna go with buoy. The first buoy, see those four in the sky? Starting clockwise from the first, it's second, then third, then fourth. Simple, right?
はい、わかりやすいです。
The line that connects first and second is called the first line. It's followed by the second, third, and fourth line. The square that these four lines form is called the field.
空中の正方形で試合をするわけですね。
Exactly. I'm sure you already understand, but Flying Circus is a sport where you have to follow those lines and fly around the square.
ということ とはファーストからセカンドを目指してサード、フォースと来て。
At that point, you head back to first. You keep flying around and around until time runs out. Depending on how a match is going, you can also choose to stop or move back and forth on a line, but you can't ever move back a line. So in other words, you can fly around here, I can understand. And if you get to here, you can fly around here. But you can't go back to that line. Okay.
ファーストラインからフォースラインに移動しちゃダメです。ということですね。
Oh, oops. Bingo. I look up, confirm Misaki and Prayers have positioned themselves at first, and speak through the headset. Start on my signal, and remember, show us how a speeder wins a match first.
任せとけ。
オッケー。
It's time. Ready, set, go.
おっしゃ。
Prez leans his body forward and flies off towards second, riding along the first line. You aren't allowed to touch your opponent until someone reaches second, making it a pure contest of speed. The one who touches second first scores 1 point. So, I already see a disadvantage for ones that aren't speeders, because you speed here, then there, then there. By the time your opponent may be here, so they can't even catch up to you to touch your back past the second line on the second line. So any time you can really fight them in terms of touching their back is when they've done the whole cycle. But by that time they've already scored 4 points. I think I read this? Yeah.
どうしてタッチ禁止なんですか?
Now she's asking why is the touching not allowed. Fighters have explosive starts and worse acceleration. On the other hand, speeders start off slow but accelerate quickly. Since both start flying at the exact same time, a fighter can easily stop a speeder early and make the match one-sided. So I'm just looking at these stats. What's the difference between a starting speed and acceleration? Because to me it's roughly the same, is it not? Or is that more like a boost, like you burst and then you gradually gain your speed as acceleration? I know it's acceleration, but starting speed is a bit unusual for me. Okay, but yeah, it's relatively balanced, I guess you could say. All around have both all-round fighters have both the same top speed and acceleration, but fighter compared to all-rounder have a difference in starting speeds. Whereas all-rounders and speeders, they only have the same acceleration. Oh wait, everyone has the same acceleration. Huh. Okay.
一方的な展開、つまりお互いが静止した状態だとファイターの方がポイントを取りやすいということですか?
Correct. But the opposite is also true. Speeders have the advantage as long as they keep moving. Yep.
あれれ、美咲ちゃんが脇道にそれちゃってますけど。
Misaki casually floats off towards the center of the second line, leaving the ring behind. Okay, so you can't go back, but can you go forward? Can you skip a point? So that I can understand then, because you can go there and wait for your opponent to touch the buoy. Then you can defend this point in line. So that means they can't just go clockwise. And you don't have to follow them. It makes more sense.
あれは危険ですか? 私が応援してるんですから、美咲先輩は危険なんかしませんよ。
You know, I could totally see that happening, but that's not the case here. She's just taking a shortcut.
ショートカットですか?
Here she's just asking a shortcut, huh? You're allowed to give up on a buoy to jump forward. Yeah, otherwise the player who's faster would always win. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so there is a way of going around it. Okay, that's pretty good that they thought of that.
あ、そっか。ぐるぐる回るわけですから、速い人に追いつけなかったらそれで終わりですね。
So a speeder...
いろいろと難しいです。
That was finished. So the speeder can go along the lines, whereas the fighter can go like a diamond shape, crisscross, try to defend the points in a sense. Okay. And if they touch it or if they do something, then they can go from here to that point. But I wonder, I'm guessing you can't just go from here to the third point. I'm sure you have to go like halfway at least or something. Don't know. It really isn't. Not touching on the first line at the start of the match, you can give up on the getting a buoy and jump to the next line. That's it. The rest is simple.
わかりました。明日までに頭に叩き込んでおきます。
Today. It's easy. Now watch. Things are just getting started.
とれ
部位を触ったから部長に1点ですね。兄ちゃん頑張れ。
Ah, that's such a deadpan voice for cheering. Perez proceeds to climb upward at a diagonal angle.
見間違いかもしれませんけど、部長が部位に触れたとき、不自然に速くなりませんでしたか？
Huh, so you get a speed boost? Good catch. I explained that buoys use anti-graviton to float, didn't I? Well, anti-graviton fields repel each other. Oh, right, yeah. Not just gravity. Using the repulsion that accelerates is a basic flying circus technique.
行くぞ。
どうぞ。
Perez descends diagonally from his elevated position. Like I expected, he moves oddly when he turns due to his shoe's specs, making his speed drop somewhat. Misaki, who positioned herself at the center of the second line, slowly moves to intercept Perez's flight path.
じゃら。
Before she manages to reach him, Perez blows by at terrifying speeds.
ポイントを見誤ってしまった。スピードに乗っている相手を止めるのはなんて難しいんだ。次の部位へのタッチを放棄して隣のラインへ移動しなくては。
Thanks for the explanation. Perez shakes off Misaki again on the third line and touches the buoy. That brings the score to 3-0. Wow, 3-0.
うわー、スピードに翻弄されて何もできないよ。ゴテゴテになってしまう。
Oh, it just shakes it again on the third line. So she's really... So this time it's really touched the third buoy, okay.
分かってきました。スピーダーは待ち構える相手をスピードで振り切ってポイントをゲットしていくわけですね。
Right. Right now, he's just breaking through on speed alone. However, in a real match, he'll use small feints to throw off his opponents. Or at least, I hope he will. He's pretty fast, but that can only get him so far. He can't just try to bulldoze over and over.
兄ちゃん、まっすぐな性格だからフェイントとか下手そう。
Ah. So yeah, she's saying, yeah, he can't see her brother doing any feints or anything like that. Right, I can totally see him going, a real man faces his opponents head on. Essentially, speeders use speed to get the upper hand in a match.
わかりました。
Perez, slow down. It's time for you guys to show how fighters win matches. Keep going, no need to restart.
わかったぜ。
了解。バチバチやっちゃうよ。
Misaki arrives at the center of the fourth line, and after that, she starts flying in small circles as she's waiting for Perez. Not like I doubted her, but seeing her circling makes it clear that she has actual flying circus experience.
美咲ちゃんは何をしてるんですか？
Fighters have good initial velocity and poor acceleration, which is why she has to keep herself moving. Momentum is a big deal, basically. Okay, makes sense.
そうですか？
Yeah, she's just saying, is that so? I'll give you an example. It's easier to ride a bike uphill if you're already moving, right?
動いてる自転車です
That's
ね。
true.
美咲ちゃんが動いているのはそういうことですか？
Yep, if a fighter is up against another fighter, then there are advantages to standing still. But, Prez is making his move.
前から急降下で V を狙うつもりでしょうか？
Sure seems like it. When you approach your buoy directly, it's fairly easy for your opponent to read the exact spot you're going to pass through and stop you. You must be trying to keep it simple to help my lesson. Yeah, that has to be it.
そりゃ
Misaki obstructs Prez's path.
先回りして頭を押さえますよ。
She extends both hands towards Prez, seemingly trying to block him in the most literal sense of the word, and... bang. The sound of electrical discharge fills the air. Okay, so I was wondering how she was going to go about it, because obviously we know you get a point by touching the opponent's back. But if you're facing them head on, you just stop them in a sense. Okay.
おっとだ。
Both of them are thrown back a good 5 meters.
美咲先輩、大丈夫ですか？
Misaki immediately recovers and waves at Mashiro.
大丈夫大丈夫。こんなので驚いてたら FC はできないよ。コーチ、今のは。
Like I explained earlier, anti-gravitational fields repel each other, and so when two players clash, well, you can see the results for yourself.
美咲ちゃんは自分からぶつかりに行きましたよね。今のは得点になるんですか？
Nope. No, she just did that to stop Prez. Speeders have poor initial velocity, remember? That means they're taking longer to recover from getting knocked off balance. Fighters on the other hand have good initial velocity, so they recover quickly. And because of that, fighters tend to gain the upper hand after a clash. That said, she didn't touch his back there, which means she has yet to score a point.
もう一回。
Misaki goes in for another clash. Maybe it was the other way around. Maybe Shion will feel like he's getting irritated by it, so he's going to try hard to get past her. Things get interesting after a fighter kills their opponent's speed through clashes.
まずは1点と。
Misaki nimbly maneuvers behind Prez and touches his back. I don't think he says how, but okay. The moment Mitsuki's hand touches his back, a triangle-shaped yellow light appears. And with that, she scores her first points. The light you just saw is called a points field. It appears when a player scores a point in a dogfight.
佐藤院さんとの対戦でも見ました。さっきのコントレイルと同じで、見ている人に分かりやすくするためのものなんですね。
Yep, it's another feature of flying circus graph shoots. Now the clang resounds as they both get thrown in opposite directions. This is where the match really begins for fighters.
ここからがですか？
Sorry if I keep doing this, but here she just says, from here on, huh? Think about it. When a clash happens, each person gets thrown in opposite directions. You can use that to slow your opponent down and force them to play your game. But you can also speed them up by mistake. I can see that happening. Like if you go behind a speeder, hit them in the back, sure they'll give you a point, but they'll boost them into the position of the next buoy. I push my right hand's palm with my left hand to illustrate my point. If you push them in the wrong direction, you just end up helping them.
なるほど。
What that means is, when you're in Prez's position, you're trying to force your opponent to push you toward the next buoy, even if that means letting them score. The speeder can use the repulsion to make up for this slow initial velocity.
なるほど。知能犯ですね。
I get what you mean, but why is that a crime? Misaki, on the other hand, wants to push him away from the next buoy. If she can keep holding him back, she'll have the time to score multiple points in a row.
そ こに駆け引きがあるんですね。
That's right, and since we're trying to show you how fighters win their matches,
2点目。
Misaki gets beyond Prez again, touches him in a way that sends him flying toward the water's surface, so attacking from above and below.
美咲先輩、かっこいい。
You can see that Prez is slowed to a crawl, yeah? Once you're in that situation, as a speeder, things get tough.
部長はどうすればいいんですか？
There are a few options. He could try to get far enough away from Misaki to start accelerating again, position himself to get pushed toward the next buoy, or go for a surprise attack and touch her back. I just thought now, like I'm just imagining here is the field, and he's getting stopped at the second line, I don't know which line it is. Instead of trying to force your way to the third buoy, skip that buoy and go to the third line and then go for the fourth buoy. Because by that time your momentum will you'll catch up your speed and carry on. I don't know.
部長が美咲ちゃんの背中を？でもさっきはスピーダーの人は相手の背中を狙わないって。
Generally speaking, they don't. Speeders are at a disadvantage in dogfights. But as the saying goes, desperate times calls for desperate measures. If they're stuck in a place and need points, then sometimes they'll go for the opponent's back instead of the next buoy.
奥が深いです。V を狙うか背中を狙うかで試合展開が違ってくるんですね。
We've got a speeder and a fighter right now, which is why there's such a clear division of who's going for what. If you have an all-rounder up against another all-rounder, it's a lot more unpredictable. I was thinking about that earlier, yeah. Like, the start of an all-rounder versus an all-rounder. Who are they both going to go for the points? Are they going to the first buoy? Are they both just going to fight each other onwards to the second line? I don't know. It's interesting.
複雑になりそうです。複雑になりそうです。
I don't think that's what she said, but yeah. And once in a while, when you have two speeders up against each other, matches turn into races. Well, that's interesting.
それはそれで見てみたいです。
On the other hand, fighter versus fighter usually ends up being an all-out brawl. You get matches where Skywalkers never even pass the second line. Just one check. I'm still trying to figure out if they use the word Skywalker or not. There's no katakana for Skywalker, so that's not it exactly. But it's probably Senshu, the players again.
はあ、同じルールでやっているスポーツなのにいろんな展開があるんですね。
Same for nearly every single sport, honestly. Yeah, that's what makes flying circus so fun, I guess. Flying circus is fun? What the hell is wrong with me?
どうかしましたか？
Nothing. Well, I guess that's enough for now. Hey, you two, let's call it.
4点目、イエーイ！
Hey, don't get carried away and booty prez. The match is over. Misaki comes flying down toward me.
ねえ、どうだった？少しは役立ったかな？はい、実際に試合を見てますます興味を持ちました。かっこよかったです。はいはい、分かったから泣きつかないように。兄ちゃん、妹の顔を無言で見つめない方がいいよ。絶対に抱きついたりとかしないし。模擬試合としては良かったんじゃない？
まあそういうことだ。これからどんどん頑張っていこうではないか。はい、
コーチ、早速練習をしましょう。私、飛びたいです。
No.
ダメって、どうしてですか？アスカちゃん、あれだよ。サディスティックなコーチの片鱗を見せてるわけだよ。あ、なるほど、そういうことでしたか。 そういうのって放置プレイと言うんでしたっけ？
Coach play. Okay. Quit talking nonsense. Flying circus graph shoes are pretty different from our civilian ones, so it's better to wait until you have the right equipment. Don't want you developing any bad habits, understand? That makes sense, honestly. If I were to compare it in a sense, for some people might not understand it, this comparison, I guess you could say, but it's like saying you're playing an esports tournament, or you're playing esports competitively. Your team plays locally, it plays local tournaments, things like that, but those levels of competition is actually quite low compared to global standards in a sense. So you're getting your team used to low standards. So then when you want to try international tournaments, you fall behind drastically because you're not developed for it, I guess you could say. I understand the concepts, but yeah.
そういうことでしたか。じゃあ今から買いに行きましょう。
It's kind of late for that now. We'll go tomorrow.
どうしたアスカ？引きつけでも起こしましたか？違います。明日がとっても楽しみなんです。
Asuka says with sparkling eyes. Man, that's actually kind of creepy. Really? Is that what they say? みんながちょっと引ってしまうぐらいキラキラした目で明日。It's not really like creepy. It's more like they were pulling away in a sense, like they're walking backwards in a sense. Not creepy, but how can I word this? The way they said it in English is putting it more negatively. It's not really negative in my opinion in the Japanese way, but yeah. But maybe. Just maybe. I had the same look in my eyes when I first started.
マネージャーから質問があります。
Yep.
正式に部になったからには部室はもらえるのかな？
I guess we should?
いや、それは無理だ。
That okay.
無理なんですか？部なのに？
Even though we're a club, is what you're saying.
物理的に無理だ。部室はすべて埋まっているんだ。部室待ちの部は多いからな。
Makes
一度
sense.
奪われた部室はそう簡単には帰ってこない。
Yeah, you can't, as you were saying in Japanese, you can't really take it away from a club that's really got it, so it does make sense. It's quite I was gonna say it's surprising for Flying Circus to not get a club, but again, I'm actually still pretty surprised that Flying Circus isn't as popular as you would think it would be. Huh? Where'd you find the cardboard box with graph shoes then? Good question.
これは外の用具入れのプレハブで発見してきたんだよ。ではプレハブ小屋を掃除して部室にしてはどうでしょうか？
A tool shed is a tool shed for a reason.
それは無理じゃないかな。他の部も使ってるし、体育の時間に使う用具も入ってるし。でも部室がないと不便だね。真面目にやるなら練習用のユニフォームとか着た方がいいし。
Rather than suit, she says uniform. I understand the similarities, but it's a bit different.
更衣室は体育館ですから、そこで着替えてこっちまで来るのって微妙に面倒ですしね。着替えた方がいいんですか？
Here she's saying, is it better if we get changed? Flats, I don't know why I want to say uniforms rather, because they use it in Japanese, I think. But I think it was most likely that said uniform. But flat suits help stabilize anti-gravitons, so they're a flying circus staple. You can't disregard safety.
着 着替えはともかくとして、部を真面目にするなら備品を置いておける場所とかミーティングできる場所があった方が良くないかな。
True. Would feel pretty awkward wearing flat suits in a normal classroom. Plus, a club room would give us private space we need to talk freely.
あ、そういえばさっき飛んできた時、崖の真ん中あたりに小屋みたいのがあった気がするんだけど。
A hut in the middle of a cliff? I've never flown beyond the fence since there's nothing there besides the ocean. I know there's a steep cliff too, but I've never actually seen it myself.
ああ、あれか。あれなら物質の代わりになるかもしれないな。
We know about it then.
あれって何ですか？
昔、海沿いに島を一周できる周回道路があったんだよ。ここの崖の真ん中にもその道路が通ってたんだ。
そういえばおばあちゃんからそういう話を聞いたことがあったかも。
今、島の中央を通る道路ができたから、海に自動車が転落しそうな周回道路は部分で廃道になったんだ。
I've heard that before. An old man in my neighborhood was talking about how the new roads are way safer and far more convenient. So, what's that hut there?
バスだ。
A bus?
自動車の？楽器のバスにしては大きすぎたかな。
俺も詳しく知ってるわけじゃないが、バス会社が赤字経営で使わない道なら廃バスを放置してもいいだろうということらしい。わか
りました。そのバスを部室にすればいいわけですね。いいと思うな。崖の真ん中でグラシを履いてないといけない場所だから FC 部っぽいと思う。早速行ってみましょうよ。
Don't we need to get permission? A look of great confidence surfaces on Maruko's face.
絶対に誰も使ってないんだから大丈夫じゃないかな。軽く先生に聞いて問題がありそうだったらこっそり部室にしちゃえばいいよ。
This girl's pretty sly. I guess we might as well go take a look.
行きましょう。
Oh, whoops. I land on the ground and deactivate my grab shoes. A heavy sensation, akin to the feel of walking out onto dry land after a quick swim, spreads through my body. Didn't know there was something like that here. Yep, this is definitely a bus.
こっちにはバス停と待合室もある。そのまま放置されたって感じですね。
This is true what she said, but it's more like they've just left everything as is, in a sense, is what she said.
ネットオークションとかに出したら高く売れないかな。冴えてますね、美咲先輩。ヴィンテージものかもしれません。
I doubt it. Besides, selling stuff that isn't even ours would be a crime.
では、勝手に部室にしてしまうのは犯罪じゃないんですか？
well.
それはグレーということで、ツタが絡まるほど放置されてたんだから、私たちがどうしたって誰かに怒られるようなことじゃないよ。
Our club president pounds his own chest after he hears that.
そういうことだ。何かあったら部長の俺が責任を取るぜ。
These siblings are something else.
中の様子を見てきます。
Asuka makes a mad dash for the bus and places both her hands on the door. A door creaks open, making a rather eerie sound. I wouldn't associate that sound with a bus door.
なんとか部室にできそうですよ。
Interesting. Obviously needs a lot of cleaning, but wooden floors, hole in the floor as well. Cushions ripped. It's nice, a bit of detail here and there. Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it here today. It's a bit shorter again. I'm actually liking these shorter ones. Going through it like this at this pace. So yeah, we got to learn more about different types of styles, their strengths, weaknesses, their stats, and how they are during a match with a demonstration. Learned a bit of the little differences in the way they go about it. One just goes for the points on the buoys, the other one takes shortcuts and goes for the back. That's I'm actually pretty surprised this type of sport has been created from the ground up, quite with a lot of detail to it. Because as I've been mentioning a few times, I was like, but if they were to do this or if they were to do that, what would happen? And they had answers for it, which is great. But yeah, it's interesting. Can't wait to see how it goes about in matches. So we also still got be introduced to a lot more characters still. So it'll be interesting to see what type of characters we get introduced to. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I'm not sure what else really to speak about. I spoke about my unhappiness, I guess you could say, in regards to not being able to see Rika as much. But I was told in the comments that it does have its own selling point, I guess you could say. Somebody who's out of your normal circle, you rarely meet, but you slowly get to know them here and there. I think it does have its own merits, so I'm not too worried about that. I can agree with that as well, because we've been with the other three for so long that it's becoming with too much. I don't know. It's hard for me to say. But yeah, it's becoming interesting. It's at these types of points where I have no idea what to say. Yeah. Oh well. I'll leave it there for today. Continue on tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please know what you thought. I'll see you all next time.